Up next, are your groceries safe? Next, experts weigh in on the illnesses sparking massive food recalls.
Plus, how police are ramping up patrols to prevent another tragedy in Ybor. Next.
Now live on 10 Tampa Bay. On patrol, we're live in Ybor City as police ramp up their presence nearly 1 year after a deadly shooting Halloween weekend.
A small business owner struggling after hurricanes destroyed his home and shop. Tonight, his effort to get back on his feet.
Plus, health alert. More food now under recall amid listeria concern. Tonight, an expert weighs in on the growing outbreak.
Keeping you informed, prepared, and connected. You're watching 10 Tampa Bay.
First tonight, increasing patrols. Police are on high alert in Ybor City nearly 1 year after a deadly shooting the weekend before Halloween. 2 people, a 14-year-old and a 20-year-old, were killed and 16 others injured. This is Nightside. I'm Courtney Robinson.
And I'm Dave Wagner. That shooting has increased conversation about safety in an area booming with nightlife. And 10 Tampa Bay's Miguel Octavio is live in Ybor City tonight.
And Miguel, you heard from the chief of police just hours ago.
Courtney, the chief of police wants to reassure people out right now and through the weekend to know that he and his officers have their backs. But we also spoke with loved ones of those shot last year, and they say the recovery is still not over. Now, Kyla's mother also has a nonprofit in the works that aims to shed light on gun violence and also help other survivors. This shooting last year also took the life of Elijah Wilson. He was just 14 years old, guys.
Yeah, and Miguel, 3 people, including a 14-year-old, are behind bars accused of the shooting here, but the case has just been pushed back.
So 2 of the 3 suspects were in court yesterday. Their attorneys say the hurricane pushed back the timeline, but all 3 of them are set to appear in court again in January. Live in Ybor City, Miguel Octavio, 10 Tampa Bay.
All right, Miguel, tonight 5 boys are facing charges in a deadly hit and run crash in St. Pete. Happened on Monday on 9th Avenue South. Investigators say 70-year-old Edward Webb was walking near his home when a stolen Jeep driven by a 14-year-old hit him and drove off. Blocks away. The driver is now facing several charges, including murder in the 3rd degree, driving without a license causing death, and grand theft of a motor vehicle. The passengers, ages 12 through 15, are also charged with murder and grand theft.
Tonight, so many families in our area are still recovering after Hurricanes Milton and Helene. And for small business owners who also had their livelihoods impacted, there's even more red tape to get back on their feet.
10 Tampa Bay's Miranda Parnell spoke to one man who lost his home and essentially had his business washed away. For business owners in Pinellas County, an assistance center pop-up will be open to help folks navigate what resources are available. That will be open at the Clearwater Main Library from Monday to Thursday between the hours of 10 a.m. and 3 p.m.
Now to a live look outside from Ascent, St. Petersburg. Man, was it a warm day, but you probably noticed that drier air. Meteorologist Colleen Campbell joins us now. And Colleen, we're expecting less humidity through the weekend too.
Yeah, Courtney, it will be warm in the afternoons, but the lesser humidity is helping us out. Here's why. We have an area high pressure that is in control that's keeping the drier weather in place. So not a ton of rain here. It could create a little bit of fog as we have just a touch of moisture moving in from the Atlantic. But watch this, as we move into the next 24 to 48 hours, we have another front that's approaching our area and moving into next week, more dry air behind that. So that will keep dew points pretty steady on a comfortable level as we finish off the weekend and move into next week. Here's another way to look at it. Look at this. Whoop, we have those dew points that's taking a nice little dip Sunday and Monday. They do start to rise up a little bit by the middle of next week, but it's not terrible levels. Currently, our winds are nice and calm throughout the region, but again, we're going to talk about fog and the full forecast and what to expect as you wake up Saturday morning.
Florida's 3rd Safe Haven baby box is available now in Citrus County. The county's fire rescue dedicated and blessed that box today at Fire Station number 7 on Rock Crusher Road in Crystal River. The Safe Haven baby box complies with Florida's Safe Haven law, which allows a parent to legally give up their newborn up to 30 days old without facing a criminal charge. The boxes make sure that those babies get the proper care and protection until first responders are able to get there. Now, there are several alarms that will alert first responders. A 4th box in the Panhandle will be dedicated on Monday near Destin.
Ken Welch named Keith Watts as St. Pete Fire Rescue's new chief. He is the first black fire chief in the department's history. Watts joined St. Pete Fire Rescue in 2018 as the division chief of administration and recently served as the department's interim fire chief. He has more than 30 years in public service, starting his career with Orange County Fire Rescue in 1991. Watts is the 11th fire chief to serve the department since it was founded in 1907.
The first week of early voting is in the books. Almost 300,000 voters cast their ballots at polling places across the Tampa Bay area. Be sure that you check the hours on your local supervisors of elections website. You do not need to go to a specific location during early in-person voting. Early in-person voting will end November 2nd or even November 3rd, depending on your county.
As you cast your vote, a lot of claims are circulating online about ballots these days.
A common one is a warning about poll workers marking them. So Verify's Ariane Daytil asked election experts across the country.
Election leaders in Florida tried to debunk this claim during the primaries. They tell us election workers in the state are trained not to mark ballots, but even if they did, it should not invalidate the vote. If you see something you'd like us to verify, you can email your questions to us, verify@10tampabay.com, or you can text us. Here's that number, 727-577-8522.
Tonight, another local case of dengue fever, where it was discovered and what officials are doing to keep you safe.
Plus, food safety concerns, brand new recalls amid Listeria and E. coli outbreaks affecting major brands and retailers. What you should be tossing out.
10 Tampa Bay closed captioning is sponsored by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
I'm WeatherTight Mike. You prepare for severe weather before it comes. That's why we're proud to present tomorrow's Wake Up Weather. It's also why WeatherTight installs the best impact-resistant windows to protect you during a hurricane. And please, don't forget the cookies.
Live news, weather, and so much exclusive content you've got to see, and it's available when you want to watch. Download and stream the free 10 Tampa Bay Plus app on all your devices now. 10 Tampa Bay with Dave Wagner, Courtney Robinson, Chief Meteorologist Bobby Deskins, and Sports with Evan Klosky.
Tonight, a growing health alert amid the rising number of foodborne illness concerns.
Costco is now issuing recalls on salmon and pasta sold in its stores. The grocery retailer says it notified customers who purchased those products. You can see those listed on your screen right now. The pasta recalls stem from the growing Bruce Pack ready-to-eat meal recalls. This just days after recalls were issued for frozen waffles and pancakes from major retail brands. And you'll remember the massive recall over Boar's Head deli meat this summer.
Well, we have more and more complicated food supply chains. So at every step of food processing, there's the opportunity for contamination. So that's number one.
Okay.
Consumers want ready-to-eat food. So, of course, they're more processed as a result. And thirdly, we have better tests. So it used to be we might not have been aware or known what made you sick. Now we can actually test, detect, and tell you what made you sick.
To add to food safety concerns, more people are getting sick following a deadly E. coli outbreak linked to McDonald's Quarter Pounder hamburgers. The CDC says at least 75 people across 13 states have been sickened and one died. The fast food chain believes onions used on the burgers are to blame for the outbreak. McDonald's has already pulled the burger off some of its menus.
Now to another health alert. Right now, today, Hillsborough County leaders confirmed a fourth locally acquired case of dengue fever this year. The county is under a mosquito-borne illness alert. Dengue is a mosquito-borne virus that causes fever, sore joints, nausea, vomiting, and in severe cases, hemorrhaging. Locally acquired case makes 51 reported this year so far, 11 in the Bay Area, including the 4 in Hillsborough County. 1 case was reported in Manatee, 6 in Pasco County. Experts in Bay Area counties are actively spraying to control the mosquito population, but they're also asking you to do your part. They recommend getting rid of that standing water around your house and hauling any debris that you can, getting that away.
All right, we're also keeping an eye on the rivers out there, causing some of those mosquitoes with all the flooding we've seen. 10 Tampa Bay meteorologist Colleen Campbell joins us right now.
Yeah, Dave, so it has been drier as far as rain coming down from the sky. We haven't had that, but we have this problem of high level of water, mainly the Withlacoochee, and it's really been a problem. We're waiting for the water to recede, but it's really taking a long time. So we're going to look at a couple select locations here where it has been pretty bad. Starting off at Holder, you can see that this is a trend that we we don't want to go towards, where the water levels are actually rising over the next few days. We're going to go into that major flood stage. So anybody that lives near the Withlacoochee at Holder, I would be aware of this. As we enter into Sunday, Monday, that's when we start to see that steady rise of the water. It's not going to be a dramatic change, but it's going the opposite of where we want it to go. Now, here's some minor improvements. Withlacoochee at Trilby, we are getting towards that moderate flood stage, so we do have a decrease in that water level, but it's going to take some time. We're looking at that around the 29th and 30th. That's this Tuesday and Wednesday. So the water is slowly receding at that location. And the best case scenario, if we can have a best case scenario, would be Croom, Withlacoochee at Croom. That's where we're seeing the water levels recede a little bit faster than the other two locations. By Sunday, we're entering into that moderate flood stage, which is about 10 feet. But we would like to see all of these locations just start to drop and dry up, because a lot of folks are still dealing with those conditions. All right, getting back here at home, looking at the wider picture to begin with, here's that area high pressure. I like to call that a big bubble of no trouble, because it's sinking drier air that's keeping the rain away from the forecast. However, it is, look at the winds coming in from the east, bringing just a touch of moisture, really just in the form of overnight tonight fog. And dew points. The dew points have been lower, a couple higher clouds, but again, it's not a dramatic change. Overall, the high pressure has been keeping us nice and dry. We do have a front that will drop in next week, and that will increase our wind speeds. A little bit closer to home here, again, a couple high clouds on the east coast. There's that moisture being pulled in from the Atlantic Ocean, but otherwise not a bad night. Here's a look outside. This is from the Ascent in St. Pete, or excuse me, the Ascent in Tampa, but it's looking towards downtown Tampa. I'm getting my cameras mixed up. 74 is the current temperature. We have temperatures that are even cooler than that in Brooksville, Crystal River, Zephyr Hills, sitting in the upper 60s at this time. We do have some mid 70s along the coast and some cooler marks in Lakeland and Bartow, where we're currently sitting in the lower 70s, which is pretty typical for those inland locations to be cooler than the coast. Overnight temperatures will generally drop to the lower 60s, especially for our northern locations closer to Pasco and Citrus County, as well as our inland locations. And then our coastal areas will be closer to the mid 60s, maybe even the upper 60s in some locations. As we look at the winds the next few hours, you see winds have a gentle breeze right now, but they really become calmer as we enter into the overnight and especially tomorrow morning. And that's where the problem of fog comes into play. We did have fog tomorrow, so this would affect anybody that's out and about from the hours of about 3:30 to, I'm going to say 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. Look how the fog really reduces the visibility here. Around 5 a.m. we have visibility reduced down to a half mile, meaning that you only can see about a half mile out in some locations. Some areas could even have fog denser than that, but overall I just would be careful if you're driving before sunrise tomorrow morning. Otherwise, it shouldn't affect you too much. All right, tomorrow afternoon, nice bright sunshine, a few high clouds like we had for today, 85 for that daytime temperature, and again, winds are pretty light. As we look at our tropical satellite, this is something we like to see. Let's read this together, right? No new tropical cyclones expected over the next 7 days. We're telling you that we are good through Halloween. Why? The one big reason being that we have a secondary front that's entering into our region. That's going to pick up the wind speeds come next week. Early next week, we're going to be breezy, and that's going to steer any tropical systems away. Tropical systems need lighter winds to keep their structure, right? Now, don't forget, Sunday, we have the big Bucks game, and it will be a warm afternoon. And then Thursday for Halloween, also looking pretty warm for those trick-or-treaters.
Colleen, thanks. Are the Bucks cursed, entering a pivotal divisional matchup on Sunday? We're going to tell you what that's all about and why the NFL had something to say about the Chris Godwin injury from Monday night.
Live news, weather, and so much exclusive content you've got to see, and it's available when you want to watch. Download and stream the free 10 Tampa Bay Plus app on all your devices now. 10 Sports is sponsored by Advent Health. 10 Tampa Bay is sponsored by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Now, sponsored by Advent Health. This is 10 Sports.
The injury report is out. Greg Gaines and Tyke Smith will not play on Sunday. The good news is Bucky Irving got a limited practice in today, and Bowles said he should be okay for Sunday, barring any setbacks.
Todd Bowles says that the running back has been dealing with a chronic toe issue dating back to college, so it's nothing Bucky has not dealt with before.
So with Tampa Bay entering the biggest game of the season, the group will play in those crispy, creamsicle uniforms. As beautiful as those look, the record is ugly in them, going 101, 227, and 1 all time. Some fans believe these uniforms are cursed, but the guys in that locker room don't buy it. If it were up to them, this would be more than a one-game deal.
Since September the 14th, so winning tomorrow could provide a much-needed confidence boost.
Yeah, we'll be right back.
10 Tampa Bay's Storm Recovery Special.
We're here to get you the help you need.
From insurance to FEMA, electrical, and more. Stream it today on 10 Tampa Bay Plus.
Halloween is almost here, but the celebrations are starting. It's Guppy-ween at the Florida Aquarium. Kids in costume to get in free. There's trick-or-treating stations as well. And then at Zoo Tampa, this is the last weekend for Creatures of the Night. There's also something for your pets as well. Hillsborough County's Pet Resource Center is hosting Halloween tomorrow. They have a pet costume contest, and they're waiving all adoption fees.
That's nice. And in Polk County, the Sheriff's Office is hosting its final haunted jail tour in Bartow. That is tomorrow night. It's held at the old Polk County Jail near North Broadway. Adults are $15. Kids under 10 are $5. All money, by the way, raised will go to the United Way of Central Florida. Boy, we hope folks have a nice weekend.
Yeah, a great weekend to get out, enjoy, celebrate the holiday.
Yeah, weather's going to be nice. We hope you have a great one from all of us here at 10 Tampa Bay. Have a good night. Hope to see you back here.
Continue with us and watch free now on the 10 Tampa Bay Plus app everywhere you stream.